Well, I'd like to welcome you all to the second ITTP conference. Thank you very much for coming. I know some of you have come quite some distances, so we really appreciate that you made the effort to come all this way. But please really get engaged today in debate, ask the panel members questions. So really, I want you to really feel like you've taken part on the conference. This is not just a question of people sitting up here talking. We want you to ask questions and get involved and to debate as the day progresses. And don't forget, of course, Sony tonight have invited us to go to their very exciting preview demo centre just across the way for nibbles and, of course, more importantly, for some drink. So if you haven't signed up, please enjoy Sony and get some of their profits back when you drink some of their drink. And also I'd like to have a big thanks to our sponsors. Without them, this event wouldn't have happened. To Sony particularly, to Holden, Avid. Very much thanks to them and to ProCam for supplying the monitoring equipment and the sound equipment. So thank you to ProCam. It's really good of you to help us. And to Film and TV for supplying the lighting. And also to all the students today who have worked very hard in getting the show together, helped us to rig yesterday afternoon and operate on the equipment today. So the students from Kingston University, thank you very much to them as well. And I would like to give a special personal big thanks to Simon Tilley. I don't know if he's around at the moment. He is from Kit Plus magazine, who has worked very hard in the last year supporting ITTP and behind the scenes organising the whole event in all terms of administration and things. So thank you very much to Simon. Now, of course, we're very pleased, of course, to have the support of His Royal Highness Prince Charles. We think that's really good that His Royal Highness supports the ITTP and our initiatives. Now, at last year's conference, we listened to what you, the delegates, were saying to us. And from what we heard from you, we've taken forward two initial initiatives. And that is the ITT Approved Skills and the ITTP CPD, or Continual Personal Development Workshops. So more about that later. And because we understand that a lot of people who are lecturing and training at universities and other places feel sometimes a little bit detached from what's going on in the world around them. So these workshops are involved, so you can come to a workshop and talk to people and learn about the latest developments of equipment, like cameras, lighting, vision mixing, etc. Now, in November of last year, I was a judge for the Guild of Television Cameramen Bill Vinton Awards. These awards are presented for outstanding student film and exceptional camera work. Now, the GTC had 31 entries, all of which were of very high standard, and the eventual winner was indeed very well deserved. But this made me think of the problems we have with training in the television industry today. So many students, while studying, use the college camera, or they borrow one, Blackmagic, Sony, whatever, to make their sometimes excellent little film, which is really great, and we should certainly encourage students to go out and develop their creative skills. But then the problem is, I think, that very often they then leave college thinking that as they have used a Red, a Lexia, an F55, they can now call themselves cameramen. But how many of these young people would really be of any use in a TV studio or a film set, even though they have their business cards printed and call themselves DOPs? Apparently, I have been told that there are around 16,000 students in the UK studying film in TV every year. So 16,000 students or thereabout every year leave looking for work. But, for example, how many of these want to be cinematographers? Now, according to the BFI, there were only 210 high-end principal productions with over £500,000 budget started in the UK last year. So that, in effect, is work for 210 DOPs. And one can assume that this year, most of the same DOPs will be working. So where is the work for these 16,000 students? This afternoon, we're going to hear from an ex-student who has had his first cinema film released. And we want to hear from him how he's managed to get from Ravensbourne National Film School to shooting his first cinema release film. But maybe there is no problem with training. For example, in cameras, at the ITV studios, they had nearly 800 applications when a job became available. But the head of cameras, Chris Owen, also apparently has over 200 cameramen on his books from which he can call. Yet, the CEO of Pinewood Studios, Mr. Den Levy, addressing the delegates at the CBI conference, said that the creative industries, which are worth £70 billion a year to the UK's economy, and with the UK film industry employing over 44,000 people and contributing 1.6 million to the GDP. But despite this, he cautioned that the UK's creative industry's ability to maintain the current growth rate of 10% per annum could soon be under threat due to skills shortages. These skills, he said, range from craft to high-end digital skills, from set makers, plasterers to DITs. Now, how many students each year leave university wanting to be, for example, cameramen or editors? And how many jobs are there in the industry every year? Now, do we know how many jobs there are available? I've asked different organisations and different people, and nobody seems to know or willing to give me this sort of data. Indeed, if anybody actually knows it. So it may be an interesting question, but is there a mismatch with too many students, with too many courses, turning out too many students with the wrong skills for jobs that don't exist? I've had second-year degree students with me who have no ideas about rigging, cameras, I have talked to students who think they're suitable for jobs as sound assistants, and yet they do not know about fibre or rigging stereo microphones at football matches. Only last month, I asked two students my proverbial question about domestic sockets, and they did not know how many amps you can draw from a domestic socket. One student had left, and one was a second-year student. So what we need is a system of evaluating new entrants into the television industry. They may come from an approved course, of course, or they may come from another direction of training, the Uncle Bob route, as I call it. But do they have the basic skills to be employable? This is why we are proposing to start a new system, the ITTP approved skills. The system in which individuals can be assessed on their basic knowledge. As I said more about this later, in fact, in session 3 before lunch, we'll hear more about this initiative. Now, this initiative has already received support from BSkyB and BT Sport, which is rather wonderful. Now, last month, I had great fun working on the Miss World programme, 5 days at the Excel Centre. Yes, you may be surprised to know that Miss World is still produced, and it goes out to 120 countries with potential viewers of 180 million. Now, I had great fun operating a camera on a Vinton Quattro, right down the front, surrounded by 120 beautiful girls. As you can imagine, it was really hard work for 5 days. But the show was really held together by the director, the vision mixer, and particularly the PA. Now, they were all on the wrong side of 50, if not heading for the wrong side of 60. And as was the camera crew. Most of the camera crew were 50 plus, as indeed some of them were even 60 plus. And so some of them will be retiring, possibly quite soon. So where are these people going to come from? For example, PAs, who I really respect. I think PAs are one of these sort of craft skills who I think is such an incredible job, such an important job, who can bar, count, shot, call, do timing all at the same time. Another job I think is really impressive is people who operate Fisher booms. I think that's another skill which I think we should be concerned about that isn't being taught properly. So where are these PAs and people come from? Where will they be taught? And how will these experiences be gained? This, of course, is not a problem for education, but a problem for the whole industry, which, as we know, must invest more money in training. Now, this is going to be hopefully, I know, it'll be a really interesting conference, and we're going to hear from many industry leaders and those with all these skills we want to hear from. So I think we're going to enjoy the day, and I'm sorry we started a bit late. But to finish with, I'd like to share with you this conversation between a sound engineer and a graphics operator at a major British broadcaster. the graphic person said, I'm going to need that bird counting in it. I need to talk to Rachel about that social media hub thing. Yeah, I think we all need training, don't we? All areas certainly need training. So thank you very much. I'll now introduce to you Ros Morris, who's going to be our wonderful chairperson for the day. Ros is the managing director of a leading media training company, TV News, and is a former BBC and ITV News reporter. So welcome to the stage, Liz Morris.
Thank you very much, Graham, and thank you very much for inviting me back after last year, which was very successful, and we hope that this year will be as well. We're talking about very important issues today. The government figures for the creative industries say there are 2.62 million jobs in the creative economy, and the creative economy accounts for 1 in every 12 UK jobs, 5.2% of the UK economy, which is more than £74 billion a year, including £17 billion worth of exports. This includes IT, film, TV, radio, music, design, crafts, architecture, advertising and marketing. So it's all extremely important, and we've got a lot of important issues to talk about today in a packed programme. So first of all, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Darren Long, Director of Sky Production Services.
A very good morning to all of you. I asked for a very, very small lectern, and as we see, we've got something I can actually pull pints at. So I'm going to stand behind here, but apologies, and I'll literally just go through my speech now. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me here today. I'm at the ITTP conference on behalf of Sky, where I'm Director of Sky Production Services. I'm particularly pleased that it's today on the 27th of January. It's a special day, and it fits nicely with the theme we're going to talk to you about today. If I could just have my slides, that'd be great. I'm not sure if they're up yet. Okay. So, on this day in 1926, the inventor John Logie Baird gave his first demonstration of television before an audience of 50 scientists from his Royal Institution in the attic in Soho, London. Right, I'm just going to move this on and we'll get it into the right position. Sorry. We can just move on to the next slide. Fast forward 89 years, and in the space of a single lifetime, the television has become one of the most important and widely used inventions of its age. Not only this, but it's created a huge industry entertaining, employing, educating billions around the world, including all of us in here today. It's an impressive heritage, so today I want to focus on what's followed. I'd like to tell you a bit about Sky and the training and production that we offer a range of touch points, from primary school kids to employees, and I also have something to talk to you about in the future. Before I start, I want to say that we're not the only ones. The BBC have their own academy, and all broadcasters will agree in-house training and staying abreast of the industry developments is an absolute must. But each approach is unique, so I'm pleased to tell you about ours today. So to begin with, some numbers. I'm sure many of you in the room have had a relationship with Sky at some point, whether it be in your professional or whether it be in your personal life. In the UK and Ireland, we've got over 11.5 million customers. That's 40% of the households and 25,000 employees that work for us. Across the Sky Group in Europe, we now have in 5 countries, and following a transition in November, we'd like to purchase Sky Italia, and now over 95% of Sky Deutschland. That's 20 million households we're in, and 31,000 employees, so we're a very large organisation. I'm sure many of you have your views of Sky and what you associate us with. You may not be surprised to learn, with our 59,000 hours of sport a year on Sky Sports and all the big dramas that we show, we're the Europe's biggest investor in content, with a total annual programming budget of £4.6 billion. I'm sure you know we're the UK's entertainment company, the largest entertainment company, and the second biggest broadband provider. You may not traditionally think of Sky as an institution known for training and development. Perhaps many moons ago, when we learned of a fledgling business ourselves, this wasn't the case. I know I learnt on the job myself. I want to dispel the myth today and take you on a journey through training and development. Here you see our Sky Academy. Did you know we're creating opportunities for millions of young people in Sky's heartland industries, the arts, sports and TV production through Sky Academy? Or that we run our own in-house diploma for journalism for our news and sports production team. It's accredited by the National Council for Training for Journalists. Or indeed that we're well on to doubling the opportunities for our work experience, apprenticeship and graduates we will offer. And we take more than 100,000 young people through Sky's Academy initiatives each year. The industry has changed dramatically since Sky began 25 years ago, and this is a competitive, ever-developing environment. It's more important than ever, the cutting edge of innovation for both our products and for our people. To keep pace indeed, training and development must necessarily evolve with times, and we know how difficult that is. We're investing in creating opportunities for our own talent, but future talent of the business. We have touch points to people and spectrum that runs from school age to adult employees. I want to give you a snapshot today of each area that builds a bigger, holistic approach we take. To start at school age, Sky Skills Studio is our small but fully functional news production facility that lets 60 children a day try their hand at over 25,000 people have visited the skill studios already. If we just change on, please. It's an interactive curriculum-based learning experience that uses the latest technology to build children's life skills and take them behind the scenes at our studio. Run VT.
Teacher in Hammersmith. Communication and creativity are two of our school values, which we feel is an important ethos to develop. So when they grow up, they leave with those kind of skills where they can apply them in any situation, which coincided with the aims of what we were doing at Sky Skills. Being given the chance to go to a real-life television studio was just so inspiring. The fact that it's free and available for any school to access was just incredible. It's almost like the Willy Wonka effect. It was like a bit of a dream come true.
If you're good with a camera, good with photography, it's going to be a great role.
The children were given different roles and put into groups to coordinate part of a news report.
So you can just be directed by yourself? Good.
4, 3, 2.
Some of them were cameramen, some of them were editors, and some of them were the actual reporters.
Scene to action.
The shyer children got to take on more leadership roles, like as a producer, where everybody had to listen to them.
So stop then so Ellie can say.
And they were pushed out of their comfort zone, and they became a lot more independent as a result when they came back to school. There wasn't one child that wasn't excited, that wasn't inspired, that wasn't engaged. I 100% think having Sky as part of the classroom was a hugely positive experience for all of the children.
Thanks for watching and goodbye.
We had a video in the entrance of the school on repeat, constantly playing, and all the parents were so impressed. We played it in assembly, it was in the newsletter, it was big news at St Paul's.
So as the lady explained there in the VT, actually it's an amazing place. It's a really interactive area for young people to come into, and it's one of these things which every time I go in, I'm surprised at how much it draws you into it. Of course, we don't expect every child to work for Sky in the end, but it teaches people important skills for the future through writing, producing and directing, and short news bulletins for students that develop skills like creativity, communication, problem solving, self-management, and of course the most important thing, which is teamwork. It also gives them a taste for the industry we know and we love. The popularity of the studios with teachers and students and our desire to offer this across the country means that we're about to open our second Sky Skills Studio in Livingston in Scotland in March of this year. It's difficult to know what to do at a very young age. TV looks glamorous, but we also know it can be hard work, and there are also so many jobs to choose from.
My name is Kaylee Padder and I am on the apprenticeship scheme at Sky. I've been interested in media from doing it in A-levels, but I wasn't too sure on the route that I wanted to take. I saw my sister go to university studying English literature and finding it very difficult to get a job because they've been asking for the experience. So I decided to take that choice of not going to university and instead getting that work experience. Sky Academy is a perfect place for me to get that. My first experiences at Sky was working in entertainment, so I went to 9 or 10 different departments, from compliance, commissioning, marketing, PR and a few more. When I was there, I really got to get stuck in and help on loads of different projects and campaigns. It was truly rewarding. I realised that this is what I wanted to do. I found a real passion for marketing. When the 11 months had finished, I applied for an apprenticeship specifically in marketing. I got placed into Now TV, but alongside this, I go to Ravensbourne College in Greenwich to study for a marketing diploma. At the end of the apprenticeship, if I'm successful and I pass my diploma, I'd like to just progress my role from being an assistant to, I don't know, an executive to a controller to a head, maybe.
So as you can see, all this is the umbrella of the Sky Academy. Sky's starting out programme includes all work experience placements, apprenticeship and graduate programmes at Sky. It aims to help young people experience and choose the path that they then go on to chosen career, which I'll come to later. So we offer work placements and work experience. So if you look at the slides here, the exciting thing is work experience within Sky isn't just about turning up and doing the usual traditional thing that you'll be sitting down with somebody just watching them work. We bring them in for 2 to 3 weeks, and we also encourage them to work alongside those individuals, the mentors that they come in with. It's a great opportunity for young people to come in. It's a great opportunity for them to really try out new work. Career Lab is just this amazing area where it immerses yourself within the media industry. It shows them opportunities that traditionally you wouldn't expect of a broadcaster. And it's a great opportunity to try different things out and see what you may want in the future. And then our brilliant work with Mama Youth, which helps disadvantaged young people through training and development of media skills. Mama Youth makes a TV programme called What's Up. In fact, it was on last Saturday, so if you've got a Sky Plus, go and have a look at it on demand. This usually lasts around 12 weeks and is made by students who have little or no production experience. We help train them beforehand and mentor them throughout, and it's a really great programme. This is a little VT just about Mama Youth. Run, please.
Although my initial reason for starting up Mama Youth Project was to get more black people into the industry, I also purposely opened it up to white working class young people or people from a lower socio-economic background. The industry knows itself that you need more diversity because we're actually putting out programs to viewers who are diverse. So we should be diverse from within.
This is like the last chance for me, and like, I want to make my mum proud because everyone in my family is not really doing anything. So I'm the youngest son. I want to make my mum happy.
You experience the whole process. You get to do everything. You get a feel for every part of the industry, so you kind of get a better idea of what you might want to go on and do.
Everybody says the same thing about Mama Youth Project, that we're great, that we're needed, but it's Sky who have actually put their money where their mouth is. Without Sky's input over these last few years, Mama Youth Project wouldn't exist.
And Bob Clark there, who you just saw in the VT, is actually just the most inspirational person. Number one, he works tirelessly for the Mama Youth organisation, but equally, apart from that, he's a full-time editor. So he goes home at night sometimes and works during the daytime. So he's really inspirational. And the other thing, although this may sound like an advert for Sky, I think it's very important to understand that actually Bob works with the BBC and also other organisations to ensure that Mama Youth is really getting out there and helping disadvantaged young children. TV scholarships. We're also supporting the next generation of exciting stars in the world of TV by offering the new TV scholarships in partnership with the National Film and Television School. It's supported by the Royal Arts Society of British Academy of Film and Television Arts too, and we offer one with Ireland's National Film School. As well as full funding of the scholars are offered work placements and mentoring from experts within Sky. The opportunities will be offered to young people in economic disadvantaged backgrounds with the aim of supporting, encouraging, and individuals who may not otherwise have had a career in the media industry. There's a particular focus on supporting students from Black, Asian and minority ethnic backgrounds and disabled talent, reflecting Sky's commitment to encouraging diversity and inclusion from the industry. So moving on, from inspirational school children giving them experience to young people starting out on their chosen career paths, Sky offers opportunities to experience the business from inside out. The first steps to ensure this have the right talent in the right place and the right schemes within the organisation. This is part of our Starting Out programme. What we have to offer: young people join us on Insight Days, work experience placements, apprenticeship and graduate schemes. And this is a brilliant opportunity again for people to come in and experience all of these great things. Many of them stay for a long period of time, and some of them even stay longer.
My first opportunity at Sky was work experience. Now I'm a presenter on Sky Sports News. That's what's so great about starting out at Sky. Whether it's work experience or replacements, whether you're an apprentice or a graduate, the young people who come through these programmes will have opportunities to learn and will build a good foundation for a successful career, just like I did.
Sky Academy, helping young people fulfil their potential.
So Natalie came into us on a work experience, and as you can see now, she's a presenter on Sky Sports News HQ. Equally, if you look at Kirsty Gallagher, she came in as well on that as a work experience, and again stayed. So it's a great opportunity to come in and work on the job. So now we've got the talent, much more of the development and nurturing people in this room. The next steps is to develop further the skills in them needed for the future. This includes taking matters into our own hands and recognising digital skills gaps and training that young people in career and software development and other specialist technology roles. I'm going to run you some numbers here. We currently employ 3,000 people within the technology area. This figure is set to increase. Young people now make up 13% of our total workforce, and we hired 1,500 people aged 25 and below, and again, that's increasing. We train a lot of our junior staff internally, and it's a big success. For 2 years in succession, a Sky Production Services person has been named and listed in the Broadcaster's Hotshot magazine. Most recently, the accolade went to a staff vision mixer who joined us 3 years ago with little or no experience when she came through the door. Now she is the industry's top talent under the age of 30, which is a great opportunity for her. Currently in the digital age, we need more people who can write software and apply technology to infrastructure management and customer service app creation, as well as people who can invest and develop entirely new services. Change that on, that'd be brilliant, thank you. We currently employ, so we've created our own software engineering academy. It takes 48 graduates each year and cultivates them into fully fledged developers. Alongside this, within the apprenticeship programme, we offer 3 technology-specific schemes in software development, broadcast technology, and electrical engineering. And I think, speaking to somebody at Kingston University today, I think it was very important to understand that their students equally understand how important it is to actually look at the science as well as the media part of it. We currently have around 50 people on these schemes. We expect to double that apprenticeship over the next 3 years. So, on to ongoing training. Once you've joined Sky's family, we're passionate about training our own people and the start of the careers throughout. We believe in matching development to business needs, which is very important. This is perhaps the most relevant to everyone in the room today. Within the more traditional production roles, producing and directing live TV is changing. It's not about specialist skills, but also about core competencies that everyone in the business more widely can benefit from. Sky has created a curriculum, and every individual has their own personal development plan which identifies their needs, and these are supported within the wider corporate context. And personally myself, about to go on a course next week to understand equally about the wider part of the business, but also understanding the pressures that the media industry puts on yourself. So it's important that we develop people all the time, and this is a great plan. The Sky Sports News Sports Journalism is an in-house training scheme to production teams across the business. 78 people have sat this course, from presenters to planners and someone from PR who's in here today. It involves 9 months of lecture studies and coursework and then exams. It began in 2010 and was the first of its kind, not only to be successful candidates get new qualifications, but also editorial skills to help them in their day-to-day. And of course, it keeps Sky at the forefront of the industry. One of the most important areas it covers is Ofcom and the laws around privacy and copyright and defamation. This is very important to live rolling news channel, where control and breaking stories are so vitally important. To extend this knowledge widely, we created a bespoke compliance training toolkit for all people at Sky who have any contact with our programme. It gives an introduction of the Ofcom broadcasting code that all broadcasters in the UK must follow. This is a fast and moving, enjoyable, interactive course, gets users to make compliance decisions on the go. It features live video interactive elements dealing with harm, offence, protection of under 18s and other important rules of television. We want everyone to feel confident and prepared in the daily challenges at Sky. The courses like both give skills and also empower people. My own area, Sky Production Services, I champion training for both the individual and also the business. Because the speed of change means that Sky, like all broadcasters, must necessarily keep the pace of innovation to survive. So in Sky Production Services, craft skills are handled on a team-by-team basis, allowing technology development managers, studio managers to plan ahead at the skills and budget accordingly. Alongside this, the SBS management forecasts a year of production across sports, entertainment and news, which then decides the skill requirement for the remaining year. It's very important to be flexible in the way we keep up the industry links, to keep key manufacturers and pick the brains of industry experts to access new kit and technology. Over the course of last year, over 500 training sessions took place amongst our production staff. One part of the training is to be multifunctional. Recent examples of this is the content checkers, who are now able to encode content, who are now able to publish content, and are able to create content templates. It enables huge efficiencies across our over-the-top platform and delivers a great opportunity for people to learn new flexible skills. And this is one area which I encourage all of you in the room to look at. And it's the one area where we struggle the most to actually get people in, is to have understanding of this new technology, file formats, DPP standards, and it's important that those skills are learnt. Within the launch of Sky Sports News HQ in August 12th last year, we created a pool of 6 multi-skilled operators for live production. Now, multi doesn't mean necessarily jack of all trades. They come from a variety of backgrounds. Some have previous on-air experience, some had no experience or little experience, but essentially they were all new to the industry on a very early stage of their career, and this was the first key role for them. But we're bringing the future talent who can go and specialise in these areas, working across lighting, camera disciplines and utilising the latest technology. These roles are the heart of the operation and are fully trained and supported throughout Sky Production Services.
As a team, because we are the new MSO role in general, it's been a challenge, but a good challenge to find where we fit in and how we make it work. Coming into somewhere where a new job role's opened, we've been able to form it and make it our own and help in ways more than what we thought we could have done.
There were odd concerns at first that they wouldn't quite be up to speed for doing lighting, or they wouldn't quite be up to speed for doing cameras. But I think the team of people we've got have really worked hard, really got involved with it.
They've put so much into us, and I didn't want to turn up on day one and accidentally cause a blackout or a camera to go completely wrong.
From what became a sort of fledgling concept, it turned into a really, really good idea and is working very well right now.
It's a great example of actually multifaceted, multi-skilled, but like I say, it doesn't necessarily mean jack of all trades. It's important to understand that actually in this ever-changing environment, I think for many, many years, multi meant somebody who effectively wasn't as good at their job. But what we did is we mentored these people, we trained these people and really gave them the skills. And we don't just leave them now. We let them actually develop. We also work with them and continually test them to ensure that they're top of the game. As an example, we've also moved into the industry specialising in the way we prioritise entertainment content, which is really important to Sky. We encourage it also by going through and actually working with industry experts. In fact, we're working with Simon Rouse to deliver an in-depth training entertainment to our PSE crews. This is aimed squarely at supporting Sky's entertainment strategy, building on our own internal ability to make programmes like Portrait Artist of the Year with our own staff in Sky. The scope is continuing to train 10 to 12 crew members over a total of 13 days on location and in the studio, and keep repeating that. We want to work closely with our entertainment area to ensure that training is targeted exactly what's required for the up-and-coming programmes that we're going to need in the future. Apprentices continue to arrive in our department, and they're selected from a large pool and are brought in at a very early age. We fast-track them through various technical areas and process internal training schemes. Schemes include fast-forward placements that I mentioned earlier, also our Sky Apprenticeship Scheme and our NFT placement students that I mentioned also earlier. And here's a VT.
The Broadcast Production Diploma course at the NFTS. Training students in studio camera operation, vision mixing, and studio sound recording for TV entertainment production.
The first studio week, I remember our camera tutor Ian Ridley teaching us a lot, even in the first week, in the first day, in fact.
To actually dive straight in, get going on some of the practical stuff, getting our hands on the kit and put together what was effectively our own show from scratch.
When we worked with a TV production and directing course, they made us feel like we were a real crew. They treated us really professionally.
This was a lot more challenging, and because budget is bigger and the project gets more and more ambitious.
First time I was able to vision mix live on Sky News. It was a lot of pressure, but I got through it.
To work with David G. Croft to deliver such high-class music show. And I got to mix it, so that was pretty sweet.
This is a great example of collaboration between two organisations. I think it's one of the things that we all need to take note of for the future. It's working together in partnership, and that's important. And this is what it's all about today at the ITTP conference. It's about working together, getting students equipped for the next level, and equally ensuring that we can actually have the right skills when they come through the door to start building on. Every student is not going to come through the door and be trained day one, but they will work with us to have the basic grounding. The collaboration of this NFTS, where I actually trained, students from the Broadcast Diploma spend about 6-week attachment in Sky. They're given a mentor to work with in the studios. Later they return for a 3-week practical modules in game shows, scripted comedy, and also music. We support them as we work in industry specialists and state-of-the-art facilities. It forms part of their final assessment. Then what happens is Sky offers one of them a 3-month paid contract to one of the students each year and discretionary ad hoc freelance for the other students. They develop even further when they join us. There's an awful lot to take on, I really do appreciate today. Even for us at Sky, is going on in tandem across the business, so it's constantly important to keep this constancy between the two different areas. I want to just show you another little VT now. This is our Believe in Better building. It's a quick tour of the campus as it happens. This is our latest building. It's a brand new facility, building on the home of Sky Academy. It is open to children and young people visiting the campus. We've had 15,000. It was opened recently by the Prince of Wales in December of last year. And we're investing in technology and infrastructure to make sure we have the right facilities at Sky to bring people in and invigorate them and make them want to work with us. They're training on their jobs for the best of their ability for the future, and it's a great place to come and excite people. So, looking for the future. Well, I can't see the future. I'm sure John Logie Baird hopes and dreams as with early television, but I wonder what even he would have pictured now with the advancements we have today. In a live, dynamic and growing beast of an industry, it's still evolving daily. Production must necessarily grow and develop with it. I'm fortunate enough to have a floor today in a room full of fantastic organisations, educators, innovators, and I want to take this opportunity to make a request to all of you in this room today. The lifeblood of our industry, the talent of the future, is in your very capable hands. I want to say that broadcasters would be very pleased to work with you to ensure we're best informed to equip them for the reality of the future. None of us could really tell what the past would like to do what we're going to do tomorrow. Just as 89 years ago, we've gone from this to this, which is a huge advancement. No one is closer to these developments than the broadcasters themselves. And it's our interest to help you prepare future talent to hit the ground running. The pace of innovation is accelerating very fast. So if we can stay in constant dialogue, and we'll be best to prepare them for the future. I want to leave you with the thought and an open invitation. Please do join the likes of Kingston University, who are here today, Birmingham City University, the National Film and Television School in Beaconsfield, and BAFTA in working closely with us in broadcasters in the future. I believe it's a symbiotic strategy partnership that is key to the healthy future of the industry. I would make Mr. John Logie Baird proud to see what he started 89 years ago today. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the ITTP conference, and I appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much, Darren. And we're going to move straight on to our first panel, and they'll be coming out shortly.